Hello, my name is Jiso, and I'm reading Master Dōgen's Shōbōgenzō. And we're getting to the end of Gyoji, Part 2. Conduct and Observance of the Precepts. My late Master Tendo was from the Etsu area. When he was 19, he abandoned philosophical study for learning and practice, after which he did not regress at all, even into his 70s. He was given a purple robe and a master's title from the emperor during the Keijo era, but he did not accept them at last. He wrote letters to the throne declining and expressing thanks. Monks in the 10 directions all revered him deeply for this. The wise, far and near, all rejoiced. The emperor himself was delighted and presented him with a gift of tea. Those who knew what had happened praised the event as rare through the ages. Truly, this was real conduct and observance. The reason is that to love fame is worse than to break the precepts. To break the precepts is a momentary wrong. Love of fame is a lifetime encumbrance. Do not, out of stupidity, fail to abandon fame, and do not, out of ignorance, accept it. Not to accept it is conduct and observance. To abandon it is conduct and observance. That the 6 ancestral masters each has a master's title is, in every case, because an emperor decreed it after their death, not because they loved fame while they were in the world. So we should swiftly abandon the love of fame, which is the cause of suffering in life and death, and we should aspire to the conduct and observance of the Buddhist patriarchs. Do not, through rapacious love, be equal to the birds and beasts. Greedily to love the trivial self is an emotion possessed by birds and beasts, a mental state possessed by animals. Even among human beings and gods, abandonment of fame and gain is considered unusual. But no Buddhist patriarch has ever failed to abandon them. Some have said that greed for fame and love of profit can work to the benefit of living beings, but their argument is grossly mistaken. They are non-Buddhists attaching themselves to the Buddha Dharma. They are a band of demons who malign the right Dharma. If what they say is true, does it mean that the Buddhist patriarchs, having no greed for fame or profit, are of no benefit to living beings? That is laughable. Laughable! There are people other than Buddhist patriarchs also who benefit the living without greed. Is it not so? Those who do not study such limitless many instances of benefiting the living, and who describe as benefiting the living what does not benefit the living, I say again, they may be demons. Living beings benefited by them might be beings destined to fall into hell. They should lament that they have spent their whole life in darkness. They should never claim that their stupidity benefits the living. Thus, through the master's title was the emperor's benevolent gift. Writing a letter to decline it is an excellent example from the eternal past, and it may be research for students of later ages. I met the late master in person. It was to meet a human being. From the age of 19, when my late master left his home district to go in search of teachers, he had striven in pursuit of the truth to the age of 65, without regressing and without straying at all. He did not get close to emperors, and he was not seen by emperors. He was not on intimate terms with ministers, and he was not on intimate terms with officials. Not only did he decline the purple robe and the master's title, but also his whole life through he never wore a kesa of patterned cloth. For formal preaching in the Dharma hall or for accepting entry into the master's room, he always wore a black kesa and black monk's robes. He instructed the monks as follows. And this is another fairly lengthy quote. Oh no, just 2 paragraphs. He instructed the monks as follows. In practicing Zazen and learning the truth, the most important thing is to have the will to the truth. It is the starting point of learning the truth. For 200 years now, the truth of the ancestral master has been falling into disuse. It is lamentable. Needless to say, then, that skin bags who have expressed the truth in even a single phrase are few and far between. In former days I hung my travelling staff at Kinzan Mountain, at which time the head of the table was Ko-Bushō. In formal preaching in the Dharma hall, he said, "In the Buddha Dharma, the way of Zen, you need not seek the words of others. Let each of you grasp the principle by yourself." So saying, he paid no attention whatsoever to what happened inside the monks' hall. The monks, senior and junior, also were totally unconcerned. They were only interested in meeting and courting official guests. Bushō was singularly ignorant of the pivot of the Buddha Dharma. He only craved fame and gain. If we could each grasp the principle of the Buddha Dharma by ourselves, how could there be old drills who went looking for teachers and searching out the truth? Truly, Ko-Bushō never experienced Zazen at all. Old veterans in all directions today who have no will to the truth are solely the offspring of Ko-Bushō. How can the Buddha Dharma exist in their hands? It is so regrettable, so very regrettable. When he spoke like this, Bushō's children and grandchildren would often be listening, but they did not resent him. Again, Master Tendo said, "Practicing Zazen is the dropping off of body and mind. We need not burn incense, do prostrations, recite the Buddha's name, confess or read sutras. When we are just sitting, we have attainment from the beginning." In truth, through all directions of the great kingdom of Sung today, the skin bags who profess to be Zen practitioners and who call themselves the descendants of the ancestral founders number not only 100 or 200. They are as numerous as rice, flax, bamboo, and reeds. Nevertheless, we hear no rumour at all of any who recommends sitting for the purpose of sitting. Between the 4 oceans and the 5 lakes, only my late Master Tendo did so. Monks in all directions praised Tendo with one voice, but Tendo did not praise the monks of all directions. At the same time, there were leaders of great temples who did not know of Tendo at all. This was because, although they were born in China as the centre of civilization, they might be a lower species of bird or beast who did not serve where they should have served, but idly squandered their time. It is pitiful that people who never knew Tendo mistook the clamour of outlandish preaching and confused assertions for the traditional customs of the Buddhist patriarchs. My late master would usually say in his informal preaching, "From the age of 19, I widely visited monasteries in all directions, but there was no master who could teach people. Since the age of 19, I have not passed a single day or a single night without flattening the round cushion. Before the time when I took residence as master of a temple, I did not converse with the people of villages because time is too precious. At places where I hung my travelling staff, I never entered or saw inside a hut or dormitory. How much less could I expend effort on outings and jaunts among the mountains and waters? Besides sitting in Zazen in the cloud hall and the common areas, I would sit in Zazen at quiet and convenient places, going alone to an upper floor or in search of some secluded spot. I always carried a round cushion inside my sleeve, and sometimes I would even sit in Zazen at the base of a crag. I always felt I would like to sit through the diamond seat. A flat bed of rock under the soil upon which the Buddha was sitting beneath the Bodhi tree. Yeah, very good. I always felt I would like to sit through the diamond seat. That was the end which I hoped to gain. There were times when the flesh of my buttocks swelled up and burst. At these times I liked Zazen all the more. This year I'm 65. My bones are old and my brain is dull. I do not understand Zazen. Even so, out of compassion for my brothers in the 10 directions, I have become abbot of this temple so as to counsel those who come from all quarters and to transmit the truth to the monks of the assembly. How can the Buddha Dharma exist in the orders of the old veterans in all directions? So I preach like this in formal preaching in the Dharma hall, and I preach like this in my informal preaching. Furthermore, he would not accept gifts of personal salutation from the monks who came from all directions. Minister Cho was one of the ancestral line of the sacred sovereign of the Keijo era. He was a general of the Minshu army and the district envoy for promotion of agriculture. When he invited my late master to come to the capital of the district and to ascend the seat of formal preaching, he presented a donation of 10,000 pieces of silver. After my master had finished his formal preaching, he thanked the minister and said, "As is the custom, I have left my temple and ascended the seat of formal preaching, and I have proclaimed the right Dharma-eye treasury and the fine mind of nirvana in order respectfully to offer happiness to your late father in the realm of the departed. But I would not dare to accept the silver. Monks have no need for this kind of thing. With thousands and tens of thousands of thanks for your generosity, I will humbly return the silver as it formerly was." The minister said, "Master, this humble officer is fortunate to be the relative of His Majesty the Emperor, so I am honoured wherever I go, and I have riches in veritable abundance. Today is the day to celebrate my late father's happiness in the next world, and so I wish to contribute something to the realm of the departed. Master, why will you not accept? This has been a day of abundant happiness. In your great kindness and great compassion, retain without further ado this small donation." My master said, "Minister, your order is a very grave matter, and I dare not decline. I only have the following excuse. When I ascended the seat of formal preaching and preached the Dharma, was the minister able to hear me clearly or not?" The minister said, "This humble officer listened with pure joy." My late master said, "Minister, you have appreciated my words sagaciously, and I cannot hide my awe. I would like to ask further, while you graced us with your kind attendance, conferring great happiness, and this mountain monk was upon the lecture seat, what Dharma was I able to preach? Try to express it yourself. If you are able to express it, I shall respectfully accept the 10,000 pieces of silver. If you are unable to accept it, then let your emissaries keep the silver." Teo Kyo rose and said to my late master, "With respect, master, this morning your Dharma presence, your movement and stillness were full of health and happiness." My master said, late master said, "That is only the state that I manifested. What state did you get by listening?" The minister faltered. My late master said, "The happiness of the departed has been roundly realized. Let us leave the contribution to the decision of your late father himself." So saying, the master took his leave, and Teikyo said, "I do not resent your not accepting the gift. I am very glad to have met you." With these words, he saw my late master off. Many monks and lay people east and west of the Setsu River praised the event, which was recorded in the diary of the attendant monk Hei. Attendant monk Hei said, "This old master is a person whose like cannot be found. How could he be easily met anywhere else? Is there any among people in all directions who would not have accepted the 10,000 pieces of silver? A person of old said, when we see gold, silver, pearls and jewels, we should see them as filth and soil. Even if we see them as gold and silver, it is traditional custom of monks not to accept them. In my late master, this observance was present. In other people, this observance was absent. My late master always used to say, there has not been a counsellor like me for 300 years. You must all painstakingly strive in pursuit of the truth." In the order of my late master, there was a certain Dosho, a man from the Menshu district of the western province of Shoku, who belonged to the Taoist tradition. He was in a group of 5 companions who together made the following vow: In our lifetime we shall grasp the great truth of the Buddhist patriarchs, or else we shall never return to our home country. My late master was especially delighted at this, and he let them walk and practice the truth as one with the monks. When arranging them in order, however, he positioned them below the bhikshunis, an excellent example, rare through the ages. In another case, a monk called Fukushu, whose name was Zenyo, made the following vow. Zenyo shall never in his life travel one step towards the south, but shall solely partake in the Buddhist patriarch's great truth. There were many such characters in the order of my late master. I saw them with my own eyes. Though absent from the orders of other masters, this was the conduct and observance of the true order of monks in the great kingdom of Sung. It is sad that this attitude of mind is absent among us Japanese. We are like this even in an age when we can meet the Buddha Dharma. In an age when we could not meet the Buddha Dharma, our bodies and minds would be beyond even shame. Let us quietly consider. A lifetime is not so long, and yet if we are able to speak the words of a Buddhist patriarch, even if 3 and 3 words or 2 and 2, we will have expressed the state of truth of the Buddhist patriarchs themselves. Why? Because the Buddhist patriarchs are the oneness of body and mind, and so the 1 word or the 2 words will be totally the warm body and mind of a Buddhist patriarch. That body and mind comes to us and expresses as the truth our own body and mind. At just the moment of speaking, the state of expressing the truth comes and expresses our own body and mind. It may be that with this life we can express the body which is the accumulation of past lives. Therefore, when we become Buddha or become a patriarch, we go beyond being Buddha and go beyond being a patriarch. Words spoken by conduct and observance, even if only 3 and 3 or 2 and 2, are like this. Do not chase after the empty sounds and forms of fame and gain. Not to chase them may be the conduct and observance transmitted one-to-one by the Buddhist patriarchs. I recommend you, whether you are a great hermit or a small hermit, a whole person or half a person, throw away the 10,000 things and the myriad involvements and maintain the practice of conduct and observance in the state of the Buddhist patriarchs. Shōbōgenzō Gyoji, written at Kannon-dori Kosho Horenji Temple on the 5th day of the 4th lunar month in the 3rd year of Ninji, that being 1242. Wow, that was Gyoji. That was nearly 50 pages. That was a piece of work. It's a piece of history as well. There's so many stories and characters in there. Amazing. Thank you for listening. Do take care.